wanna know his secret?
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Kevin Sauer from the Tech Feed, and welcome to another episode of The Coding of the Interwebs. And today we're going to be learning about HTML forms. So today we aren't going to be using much PHP at all. So you can basically delete your PHP tags. And the reason why I want to teach you some basic PHP, even though I'm going to be doing some more HTML right now, is because a forum is completely and totally useless without PHP or JavaScript to handle the backend, and PHP has the easiest way to handle these. So I will teach you about that first. So what you can do is you can empty out your watermelon.php or whatever your PHP file is, and you can close out and you can refresh this, right? So now you have a basic website here, right? So the first tag we're going to use right now is the form tag. What this will do is it will basically say to our web browser saying, hey, I have a new form I'm making right here, and all the things inside my form are going to be inside this tag. So here you can give it a class, and which is useful if you're handling it with JavaScript, but since we're using PHP, we don't need to. Now here's this action part here. This part matters. This part either says, this part tells it, okay, I will, how do you want this form to be handled? So like when someone submits the form, where will the form, like what file will process what's on the form? So right now we'll just put in watermelon.php. So in other words, this file right here. Or what you can do, well, if I spelled watermelon right, watermelon. Okay, so what you can use, so this will say, hey, we want to handle it on this file, watermelon.php, which is the same file here. Or what you can do is, if you just not specify the action, what all it'll do is it'll just assume you mean this file, like this current file that you're working on, the file that this form is in. Now here you have a method, right? So here you have two options, get or post. What post does is it makes it so that the user cannot see what's gonna be the values for the form. So this is useful for when you're doing something like passwords and stuff, because it's more secure. And then you have get, right? So this is what things like Google use for their search engine, right? So if you go to google.com, like so, and you wait a couple seconds, right? So you go here and I search up something, right? And as you can see here, this part here, this says like q equals blah 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 blah. This is a get form. This search box is part of the form, and that form is a get form because you can see the values up here. And I'll get more in depth what all this stuff here means later. Right? So now that we're done with that, now that I'm done explaining that, we can actually get into it, right? So now here you have what's inside of your form. And here you can put two tags that are usually used. Text areas, which basically is a big text box, like so. It's one of these big kinds where you can type in tons and tons of text, right? So like the multi-line text boxes. And then you have the input tag, which you can put in like so, and I have caps lock on. And here there are multiple different types, so you can put button, text box, and other things like submit, right? And other things like that. And so here it has a name. Now this name is and by the way, submit is like a normal button, except submit says, hey, I'm done with everything inside of here, and all I want, and when they click this button, it basically just says, okay, I'm done with the form, submit it, right? Now here you have this name property, and you need to keep this name if you're going to be processing it with PHP, because this name tells PHP, oh, I want to look for this thing. However, if you're not using PHP and you're going to be using JavaScript, the name doesn't matter. Instead, you should put in a class, and you can do it like that. but we're going to be learning with PHP for now, and I'll teach you guys JavaScript later. So I'll put in a name here, and you can put in whatever name you want. I'll just leave it blank for now because we're not actually going to be processing yet today. Now here you can put in value. This value is what's inside of the button. So right here you see there's nothing in the button. So here we can put in, for example, submit, right, as the value here, right? And when we refresh, you'll see, well, yeah, resend. And here you'll see that now it says submit, and we can do other things as well, such as right here at the end of this text tree we can put in BR, right, so a line break, and we do this here, right, and you'll see resend, and you'll see it's on the next page. And so you can do things like that, and there are also other input types, so I'll go through, well, most of them with you guys right now. So you have password, you got your well, let's do this BR, and let's just copy all of this stuff, right? So copy, and right, so here you have password, and you have, let's say, email, and there are only certain things that you can put here, so these just so happen to be some of them. So shift and copy. We also have, instead of email, we also have text, and then we have one last one called can you guys guess what it is? Can you guess what it is? It is a button, and actually we have like two more. So just stay with me, guys. So, and we have check box, and well, that's all I'll tell you guys for now because I'm probably boring you guys to death. Resend. Right, so now here, so this one, it's a password one, right, so it grays out everything. This one, if I remember right, is email. So this one has an email, and it will actually check to see if it's an email, and there's something, it says please enter an actual, like, valid email address. And here it's, so, but now the only thing here is into abc@xyz.com, and it will count that as an email address because all it checks for is like the characters that you need in an email address. And this is just a normal text box, as you can see here, just a normal text box. This is just a regular button, and just like with the submit button, if you put in a value, it will display that inside of here. And this is a normal checkbox. Now here, inside of here though, inside of this normal text box, however, and inside of all these other ones, inside the value you can put in like that. Wait, well, text box doesn't have a value. Well, checkbox doesn't have a value. But however, something like here, we can put in something like that, and then now when we refresh it, by default it'll be in here, right? By default. And then here also inside the text area, I believe if you put it inside of this thing here, it counts as the default value of the text area, as you can see. So now that we're done with learning this, we can actually learn on how to handle forms later. But until next time, never ever cut the feed of tech. Wow.